You see now, morning, Sheryl.
Good morning.
We've
Good morning.
heard these songs hundreds of times. You say that's the first time you've seen yourself play some of them.
I've never seen any of that footage. How fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're back here, you're going to sing for us later, which is very exciting.
Yes. Oh, I love singing early in the morning.
Well, especially when you come in at 4:45 to rehearse, which is great.
I was a little bit worried about it, but yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and have you ever had to get up that early to perform before?
No, but now I have a 3-year-old, so I'm up that early a lot anyway.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I'm not singing, but you know.
And we'll come to that in a second. You've got a new album, which is is it a return to country? Is that how you sort of describe it?
Well, you know, I feel like most of my music has always had country roots. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of the stepchild, I think, of the Rolling Stones and Linda Ronstadt and Flying Burrito Brothers and Emmylou Harris. But it's the first time I've actually made a record in Nashville with Nashville players. I've done some writing with Nashville songwriters, and it's being marketed as country. So,
yeah, and you recorded it in a barn, on your ranch.
In my barn, yeah, at the bottom of my driveway.
Well,
so it was great.
I mean, I remember the last one I remember being recorded in a barn was Harvest, Neil Young, which is a long, long time ago.
And I think that did okay.
It did. Doesn't it present some acoustic challenges, though, or not?
Well, when I say in the barn, it's an actual proper studio.
Okay.
And now, of course, studios are a computer and some great outboard gear and instruments and great players. And that's the way it is. But it's soundproofed. But below is 10 horses. And there's a saloon downstairs. So if you don't feel like you're really playing that well, go down and have a pint, come back up, and you think you're really playing great.
No, a pint. So, really? Do you drink pints, or is it the old JD or something else?
No, I drink. I'm a beer slob.
Okay.
Yeah, and we keep it on tap, so for a little courage.
And the 10 horses don't mind?
It's so soundproofed, I don't think they actually even know it.
Some of the lyrics in here are just totally fantastic. Bill mentioned the ones from Waterproof Mascara. What was it? Doesn't rhyme like his daddy did.
Yeah, now that is old school country. Yeah. That's like a throwback to Tammy Wynette.
Yeah, I mean, do you ever feel the need to wear waterproof mascara?
I wear it all the time. Actually, I was telling my makeup artist, as soon as I walk in the door this morning, they'll say, "Take your makeup off, you look like an old lady." So I don't wear a lot of makeup around my kids. I don't wear it a lot anyway, but there's a lot of truth in that song.
And a lot of truth in the whole album. Is it more kind of autobiographical than before? Or?
Well, it is. I think every song you write, you bring your life perspective, and that informs, you know, your experiences inform your lyrics. But definitely, I wanted to write about what it's like to be somebody my age.
And tell me, so you've got 2 sons, that's right? Adopted sons.
Yes.
How wonderful is that?
It's great. It's wonderful. Wyatt is 6 and Levi is 3.
Right.
And they've been all over England this week, and they've been to Germany, and they've been troopers, and they've seen everything. And we went in the London Eye, and my 6-year-old thought it was great. My 3-year-old thought it was so boring.
Oh.
What made you go back to? Well, not you go back to Nashville. Why? What made you settle in Nashville in the end?
Well, I got diagnosed with breast cancer about 8 years ago, and I just realized in this rash moment that I had never put down roots since I left my hometown, and it was time to do that. And my family all lives around there. My sister actually lives in Nashville, and I relate to the music. Got great friends down there. And
it's an extraordinary. I mean, it's an extraordinary town.
It is an amazing town.
You know, you can walk down one street, and outside every bar is playing music.
Yeah, and not just music, but like the most talented people you've ever heard, and you can't figure out why they haven't made it. And people are moving there by the droves, so I keep saying it's not that great. It's not that great place.
You wanted to tell people about
That's right.
And you talk about the breast cancer. I mean, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
You're okay now?
I'm great. I'm great, yeah. I'm like the spokesperson for making sure you stay diligent about getting mammograms.
We're talking about it today.
It must have sort of stopped you in your tracks a bit, though, I'd have thought.
Anything that is a life-threatening diagnosis certainly makes you reevaluate your life, and I felt like it was a big opportunity to hit redo, and that's what I did.
To hit redo?
Yeah,
now, what's that mean?
Just to sort of redefine my life. You know, I moved to Nashville, I adopted my kids, I just redefine my life.
Some of the songs are kind of some are not upbeat, others are, aren't they? And what are you going to be singing for us today?
We're gonna play the single, which is called Easy, and it's basically a song about staycations, where you stay home and drink beer in your backyard and save your money.
Well, that is actually not a true reflection of your domestic life, is because that gentleman there is an actor.
If it could be. That would be fine with me.
That's a nice message, isn't it? So you don't have to go and spend a lot of money to have a nice holiday then.
That's right. With gas prices the way they are, people want to save their money.
So there you are, cruising along, very successful musician that's sort of known around the world. And then as things happen sometimes. Something blows up in your life, which is the whole Lance Armstrong affair and his admission last year about cheating on the Tour de France, and you went out with him for 3 years. I'm just wondering, it must have been a real shock when that happened. How much of a difficult is it for you to deal with that when that sort of thing comes up? In a sense, well,
him coming out and saying that he,
Yeah.
oh, well, see, I'm 8 years out from that, so his story is so distinctly his story and has nothing to do with me. Consequently, I watched the Oprah interview like a lot of people did. I only watched a little bit of it because I don't see a lot of TV at this point with kids, but, you know, has no reflection on me.
Tell us about the boys. So they're here now. They're going to go on tour with you. Is that how life is going to be for
everywhere
them?
with me. Yes. I mean, luckily they're great little travelers. They've been doing it since they were 2 months old, and I really only have this window of opportunity. Wyatt starts first grade next year, and we can't do as much as we're doing now. But it's great.
Is it a rule in American music that every album by Sheryl Crow must enter the Billboard chart? I think
It must. There are bills to be paid. No, I've been really lucky. I mean, 20 years. My first record came out 20 years ago, and that is a really good long stretch. And I, you know, the way things are now, like we started out playing for 10 people and eventually built up word of mouth. There was no social media or anything like that. There weren't these giant vehicles. Now people they're groomed for celebrity. They're groomed for fame, and so I don't know, it's yet to be seen whether the the kind of career that I've enjoyed for 20 years, whether that can be sustained anymore.
You're still playing the same guitar as you started out with?
Yeah.
Is that
yeah,
right?
I've written almost every song that's ever made any money on the same
Is that the
guitar.
one with that distinctive Sheryl
call
Crow
it the little
sound?
money maker.
Oh, you've got to be very
You broke it
careful.
once, didn't you?
I broke it on the first tour, yeah. Broke the headstock off.
You talk about being groomed for fame, and that's something obviously that you weren't. Does it make it easier for them, or do you think it makes it actually tougher in some ways?
I don't know. All I know is that if I were made to stand up in front of an audience of 30 million people, I would buckle. And I look at these young kids I mentored on The Voice, and they're so groomed for it. They're so, it's like their whole lives have been gearing them in this lane towards fame. And when I got into music, I wanted to make music.
And when you first started, how old were you when you wrote your first song?
I was 13, but there was nobody listening.
Oh, can you remember what it was? Can you remember what it was?
It was a song for a contest about Missouri, which is my home state.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Oh, go on. You must remember.
I don't remember it, believe it or
Come
not. I don't
on.
even remember it. But if I did remember it, I'm sure I wouldn't sing it.
Exactly.
Cheryl, it's lovely to see you again. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Cheryl's album Feels Like Home is out now, and